Let's do it. Welcome. Oh, fuck yeah. Let's start with some money here, folks. John Costica. Oh, it's John Costica. I'm sorry. My astigmatism was acting up here. I got more. Maybe this guy? I don't want to fuck it up. I was trying to do the Jamaican air horn, but I don't want to fuck shit up. Welcome to the Hummel Show. 813-90 Bubba. Did today's show seem out of sorts? It felt chaotic more than usual. It's weird. Like, I'm used to a certain level of chaos around here. But I feel like we were tipping the scales a little bit today. I kind of liked it. I was a little bit uncomfortable at certain points, which I think makes for good, compelling radio when you get that tension going. And the alliances, sometimes I feel like it's House of Cards. Did anyone watch that show? I watched probably like 3 seasons of it. Kevin Spacey, one of the best to ever fucking do it, man. I'm almost willing to give him a free pass when he raped someone in 1986. I mean, please, let bygones be bygones. Great show, House of Cards. Sometimes it reminds me of working at the BRN. Not that this is Washington, D.C. or anything like that, but just, the alliances. They're constantly like broken and reformed, and then they switch places, and then you lose contact, and then they come back, and great stuff. 813-90 Bub. Oh, okay. Are we okay? Oh, you were gonna show. Oh, next is that the air horn? Now I can do the air horn. Oh, fuck yeah, John Costica. Thank you very much, Macho. Appreciate you. Yeah, I'm definitely going to play that forever. That's probably my favorite sound ever. It just, everything good comes after a Jamaican horn. Even if I'm not in the mood to party and I'm just fucking annoyed or what, it just lightens the mood. It just, I don't know. It like reminds me of like a Little John song, and that reminds me of my college years, and it just makes me happy. It just makes me fucking happy. I wasn't sure if Kevin Hazlett was going to show up today, so I didn't say anything. I did invite him to join me today, and when I did, all I got was a thumbs up. For those that have like iPhones, you can comment on someone's text, and he just thumbed it up, and I was like, okay. I'm like, he likes the idea. I know that he likes the idea, but I wasn't sure. But he got the memo, and that's cool. And hopefully we can get Kevin in here soon, because I feel like we dance well together. We make magic together. I'm also, oddly enough, very excited about the Kush and Hum, 2 kind of cool Jews show. I felt like Seth and I danced really well together on, what day was that? Tuesday, Wednesday, I don't know. They all bleed together, but whatever day it was, and we're already planning our next show about things we're going to talk about. Seth was telling me a very compelling story about a place he used to work at very recently, and I was like, yeah, absolutely, we need to cover that. There's a lot of meat on that bone. We got BARP next week. Can you believe it? It's like there's so much hype behind BARP, and I love when it is Martin Luther King weekend, because let's be real, coming out of the holidays is fucking rough. Even if you didn't enjoy the holidays, or was like bittersweet, or was hard getting back on track with work and waking up early and your usual responsibilities is just not fun for anybody. I love being here. It's awesome. The only thing that it would not be my choice is just, that 5 a.m. Wake up time is just not. I'm not a morning person. I don't even feel like I am now. Like, I do not wake up early on the weekends. It's not like I don't need I've never been I don't need an alarm clock. I just like wake up with the sun. I'm not that gal. I got a lot of sleep over the break, which was really nice. A lot of time to sit and reflect, which is good. Sometimes bad when you have a brain like this one, when it gets away from you and you don't have a lot going on. But I kept myself busy. I saw friends. I saw a girl who I used to go to college with. We were roommates in college one year, and I went to her wedding a couple years ago. Actually, when I was working here, it's the one I attended in California when I did not get a +1. So that, was cool. Hey, it's fine. It's those moments that I'm able to be like, you know what, Anna, you were born to do this. You have the gift of gab. You can be friends with anybody, and you have to really put that to the test. And a time where you can really test out your skills is when you go to a wedding fucking riding solo. And the only people there you haven't seen since 2008. And you're like, fuck, I hope they remember me. Because I don't know who the fuck I'm going to talk to for the next 5 hours. Oh, it's Brian from Philly. Stand by with the $20. Very excited to see Brian and John Kostika next week. Again, we have Tate's Pizza on Thursday. I think it's 5 to 7. He keeps switching it up the time. So I don't really like writing things down too much because I like to keep it all up in here, up in this noggin. 5 to 7, and then we have Bubba 199, and I'll give you some DJ Hum sauce, putting on a performance. Gonna bust out my turntables this weekend so I can get some practicing in. So we'll be doing that Friday night for Bubba 199, and then of course the big night, BARP, Bubba Army Royalty Party, where you get your rings for the 2023 fiscal year, and we do the Hall of Fame. And it's going to be a good time. There'll be food. There will be music. There will be probably lots of drugs. I'm going to probably stay away from the drugs. I'm going to stay away from doing new shit around lots of people. That's probably a good rule to keep in your back pocket, is don't experiment with crowds of people whom you know. It's cool if you don't know anybody, you're at a festival, you try something new, and you can just kind of, run away. There's no professional obligations or anything like that. Now, listen, I'm going to be getting pretty tore up. That's for sure. At least Saturday night. I don't even remember the last time I was drunk on it. It's been so long. It's just the last time I was really effed up was at the Florida Man Radio event, and we all know how that ended with me crying in the back of Susan Poitras's car. So hopefully that doesn't happen again, which it won't, because I won't be doing any of that stuff. But it's going to be a good time. I'm so excited to see all the people that contribute to the program throughout the year. And this is really about you. And I'm sure no one is more excited than Brandon the Quad, because he's about to get fucked. He's about to get fucked by 2 chicks and maybe a dude. So that is super cool for him and super cool for our only fans. I did want to talk about, let's see. I have a few things I want to talk about. I want to talk about Hashimoto's disease for a second. And I didn't realize, here's the thing, I'm really not a very trendy person. I don't really keep up with the trends. And I feel like probably around, I don't know, 28, 29, 30, probably my early 30s, you start to realize, because in your mind, you're still the youngest generation. You're like, I'm a kid. I'm a fucking kid. And I know everything, and I'm up to speed with technology, and I got the gram, and I got the book, and I got all the Twitters and whatever. And then when that new generation comes along, and you're just like, what are you talking about? And then they kind of roll their eyes and scoff at you, and you're like, what the fuck, man? I didn't know I was out of touch. Now I've embraced it. Now I think I'm middle-aged. I want to look up middle age. I don't think is there an age range? Does anyone know? 813-90-BUBBA. Is there an age that you hit where you're you are middle-aged? And is it one of those things where it's not exactly perfectly descriptive of the time of your life? So, for example, Michigan is part of the Midwest, but it's really not that mid or west. It's in the East Coast time zone. It's EST, baby. So it's more of a regional thing, the Midwest. Iowa's Midwest. I mean, even Oklahoma is Midwest, and Michigan is Midwest. But they can't all be Midwest. I mean, it's the entire, central part of the country, it seems to be, is Midwest. But oddly enough, Colorado's not Midwest. So it's very strange, which it kind of is regionally Midwest, but it's not culturally Midwest. It's just not very descriptive of that. And I want to kind of circle back to the Hashimoto's deal because I didn't realize that this is like this new, it's like a new hot girl, I'm in my 30s disease that now everyone fucking has that I was unaware of until probably the last 2 weeks when maybe 6 or 7 people in my orbit, all within the age of about, I don't know, 30 to 38, somehow they are white and they are blonde and they all have Hashimoto's. And I didn't know that this was a thing. I wasn't privy to this. And I'm sure I'll get lots of calls about people who have it, who, and it seems like it's something that you acquire. It's not something that you're born with, like most things that come with age, nothing good. It seems like always when someone is trying to get pregnant, that's when they start having trouble with their health. And is it because you waited too long? Is that what happened? Because you're middle-aged, which is what I was going back to. Like, what is middle-aged? Do you only know you're middle-aged once your life is over? Because maybe you only lived 25, in which case wouldn't, like, 12 be middle-aged? I don't know. But I feel like I'm deep in the throes of being middle-aged, and I've kind of embraced it. There was a few years where I felt like I was fighting it. Like, I'm like, no, I'm young. And then you meet someone who's like truly young and you're like, oh yeah, I'm fucking old. That's fine. That's cool. It's no problem here. 81390 Bubba. Hello, who's this?
I'm Hummel, Joe the Supermarket.
Oh, well, that's a surprise. How are you doing? How was your Christmas? I'm glad to hear you because you're alive. You're doing it.
I made it.
You made it.
I made it through the new year and everything, and I'm only going up from here. But I wanted to bring something to your attention, and trust me, we won't care. But all morning in the chat, everyone hates the Jamaican horn. There's so much hate for the Jamaican horn.
Well, fuck that, because the Jamaican horn is awesome. Why would you not like the Jamaican horn?
I love it. Let it rip.
Okay. Well, I don't want to fuck with the screen because I think Macho's doing something right now. So, or maybe Lummy. So I don't want to touch it right. Hey, let's go. It does it not just elevate your mood? Well,
so secondly,
yeah.
I know you were talking about the weird feel of the show.
Yeah, did you feel it too?
A lot of F-bombs this week. You've been around years and never had no F-bombs on the regular show, but all of a sudden this week, said Bubba today.
No, that's not true. It slips out sometimes. It slipped out for Jay not too long ago. It slipped out for me. Sometimes you forget where you are. You get real comfortable. You don't even realize the headphones are on or that you're talking into a mic, and then all of a sudden you're like, fuck, and then you're like, fuck, I just said fuck. So, yeah, it happens to everybody.
But your comeback for a set yesterday was the funniest. Like, what are you, new to radio? Is this your first time doing radio? Like, the quickie, witty response. I was all about it.
Oh, thanks.
So,
I mean, that doesn't
job.
seem too witty, but I'm sure I said something to that effect.
No, it was quick. It was very quick, and that's something I got to give Seth props for, even though a lot of people complain about his voice. He's the wittiest son of a bitch.
He's the what?
The wittiest son of a bitch. He is so witty.
Yes, he is.
So
he is.
quick.
No one's ever doubted Seth's talent. That's for sure.
Positive. Well,
yeah.
I guess I'm not getting sniped today, so oh well.
Oh, maybe you are. People are calling.
Let's do it.
No one is. All right, Joe. Well, thank you so much for calling in, and we appreciate you. I hope you're less hated.
Right? God bless.
We did. God bless. Hello, who's this? Sup, bitch?
Anna?
Yeah.
Las Vegas Mine. Hey, just
what's going on?
Quick, real.
Yeah.
Not much. Just want to keep it quick. Heard you're going to be doing some hooping. Need to know what size shoe you wear, girlfriend. I got to get you some hooping shoes.
Okay. Does that mean you're going to give me like Jordans or something?
Well, hooping shoes. I mean, well, if you want Jordans, but
I don't know what that means. Does that mean basketball shoes? I got these. I got Asics, buddy. Look at these.
No, you don't do. You can't be balling in the paint with Asics. Come on.
Why not?
No,
I don't need high tops. I got Asics, buddy, and these got great sole support, so don't be talking trash.
Nice, before the game.
I think you're cutting out a little bit. That's why I feel like we're having communication issues. No, you're fine, but sorry. So, are you going to give me some advice about how to do basketball?
No, I'm just going to get you some basketball shoes. There's no advice.
No, please don't. I feel like I really don't deserve any more gifts. Okay, I really don't.
I want to.
I was spoiled. I'm 7.5, 8. So yeah, I was spoiled. I feel like I was very spoiled during this holiday break by one too many people. I've truly made up for all the Christmases I never had as a little Jewish girl.
7.5, 8. Women or men?
My shoe size?
Are you 7.5?
I mean, I am a woman.
Sorry.
I know that's controversial to say in these days. A women's size. Yes. Not men's.
Yeah. Well, like sometimes when you order Converse and stuff like that, they're like.
Do you really think I'm wearing a 7.5 in men's? No.
Maybe I saw that. I saw your shoes just right now.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. 7.5, 8 in women's. Like I have a very average foot. I feel like everything about my feet and pretty much my size is just average.
Okay, so I think you're a good candidate for some Kevin Durant or maybe some Giannis Oladipo.
Please don't spend too much money. Oh, okay. I just don't want to anger Bubba because he's not going to be happy about me getting new shoes.
Oh, no, I sent him a Green Bay Packer thing. He doesn't wear it. I sent Lummy some shorts. They don't wear it. But listen, last time I complained, I was entitled. So
right.
I got you, girl.
You understand how it works
on here. Basketball game.
Thank you. I'm very excited about it. I'm pretty athletic, but I feel like I'm not good at basketball. But we'll find out.
You're better than Babyface.
That's probably true. Okay, I'll just throw the ball at his face and see where we go from there. I think that's legal.
Bye, Anna.
All right. Bye, Las Vegas Mario. I'll take one more call and then we'll move on. Hello, who's this?
Anna.
Person.
Hey, this is Pro Wrestler 91.
What's up?
Nada. Hey, I agree with everybody, man. It was different today.
Did it feel different?
Really quiet. Yeah.
Me? I was quiet?
Well, you were pretty quiet, but Dan was really quiet.
Well, it's
I felt like,
hard when you got 800 people in the studio, and also
thank you.
I try to be mindful not just of things that I want to do and say, but mindful of the listener experience. And I know that when there's 1,000 people talking over each other, it's really hard to listen to. So for much of the show today, I was like, you know what? They're talking about sports. They're talking about this. I'm gonna just shut the fuck up.
Well, it wasn't even that. I mean, it was Dan himself even. I mean, Dan was pretty quiet. He
really?
Kind of, like, to me, is a big fan, as you know.
Yeah.
It felt like Seth is trying to take in more, or it feels like him and Bubba are like this new brother thing.
Yeah.
And Dan's kind of being put to the wayside, and it was just a whole weird experience today. And like a lot of us were, like I was making a big stink about it in chat. It just didn't feel right.
Did a lot of people in chat? I didn't really read too much of chat because it throws me off and they make me feel bad about myself. But what was the sentiment in chat? That it was just too busy? That it felt weird? Because that's the only thing I could really pinpoint. It wasn't like Dan's out of sorts or Bubba's out of sorts. It just felt fucking weird. That's the only way I can really describe it. It felt different.
In the chat, that's what it was.
Okay.
Too many people and the dynamic of it. It wasn't like a typical Dan, Anna, Lummy, and Bubba day.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, Seth is back and
off of each other. It was mainly Seth and Bubba going at it about this and that and that and this.
Well, I mean, Seth is technically the new guy, and so I get that Bubba wants to kind of spotlight him and kind of work him in. What?
But he's already in. Everybody knows who he is. He already burned.
I understand.
He's back in.
Right, but again, it takes a while. There's an adjustment period. It's not like you can just start up where you left off. It's like things are a lot different now. I play a different role than I did when Seth left. I was like a scared little lamb, and now I just piss everybody off with my opinions and my bad looks. So things are just different now.
Anna. Look, it's just like in professional wrestling, okay? Some people gel, some people don't.
Yeah.
Today's dynamic, even bringing Jay in, it just all did not gel. Now, you and Seth were great.
Thank you.
Guys, I was really shocked. That show was phenomenal.
Listen, sir, no one was more surprised than me, okay?
Yeah. I mean,
I was like, wow, I had a lot of fun. Seth was like, you sound surprised. I'm like, I am. Like, it was fun.
Yeah, and Bubba and Cook, need to keep doing their thing. But when it comes to Fridays, man,
yeah. What would you prefer the dynamic of Friday to be? Like, if you were to pick the cast of characters, okay, just the standard. So basically, everyone but Seth is what you're saying.
Come in.
Okay.
Yeah, minus Seth, not even on the couch or anything, because it just was not the same. Like
too many
Dan
cooks in the kitchen.
Talked today.
I I think Dan was talking. Dan was talking, but
not typical though.
Well, again, you have to adjust. It's not like you can just be who you are every day. You have to account for if you have a guest, if there's another person talking.
Entertainment business, yes, you can. I'm in the entertainment.
Again,
business
you got to be mindful of the listener experience. If everyone's just fucking talking about what they want to talk about and they're talking over each other, it's just not a very pleasant listening experience. So I try to be mindful of that. And not just try to get a word in just to say something. But if people are on a roll, like usually I try to like leave it alone, especially if they're talking about something like sports. And then, sometimes I chime in and, I get what do you call it? I get flogged for it. So it's okay. Hey, it's cool. I like it.
Yeah, you are the punching bag of the show. Unfortunately, it's not.
Do you feel that?
It is what it is.
Do you feel?
Like you were the punching bag?
Yeah, I feel that too sometimes.
I get, but you don't deserve it. You're really good. You're one of the reasons why I keep listening every morning.
I appreciate
You'll see me on here and stuff. I dig you. You're cool. I like having that. That you and Bubba little thing going on.
Yeah.
And stuff. I just hope he doesn't mean some of the stuff. I just,
Me too.
A lot of them also felt he was being a jerk today.
I mean, I'm not commenting on anything.
I know you ain't going to say that.
I ain't going to say shit.
Some of us felt about that because he just, he's got this new attitude now. It sets there as, fuck you guys. If you don't like it, get the fuck out kind of attitude, and we don't like that. That's not cool, man. I mean, that's why he loses people. That's why people don't stay loyal. That's why people backstab him, is because you got that attitude. I can understand he's running his ship and he's the captain and the admiral.
Yeah.
You can't make your employees feel that way. I know I'm in the wrestling business.
But I get it. I mean, it's hard to manage a bunch of fucking crazy kooks like between me and Dan and Lummy and Seth and fucking Jay and Babyface. I mean, these people we are hard to manage because we're just kind of off our rocker. Maybe like Jay and Dan have like real jobs, but the rest of us, we can't fit into normal life. You think I can have a corporate job? I tried that and I got fired for like fucking stealing lettuce one time. And I was recently fired over a tweet. So it's hard for me to have a normal life and a normal job. So it's hard to manage all these fucking people. And then you got to think Bubba. Bubba's the fucking craziest one out of all of us. So if that's the guy running the ship, it's going to be chaotic at times. And that's okay. That's what the people come for, a little bit of chaos.
I know. That's what we love you guys. You guys are the misfits.
Yes, we certainly are. And thank you so much for calling it.
But we love you guys. All right.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. God bless. God bless. All right. I don't know if I'm supposed to promote this, but I feel like I want to. Apparently there is a Gasparilla. We know that Ty J. Armstrong's wife, Jeannie, beautiful, fucking. We did a class with her. Me and some of the gals did a class at her studio. I'd never done a pole fitness class before, and let me tell you, I am just absolutely blown away by the athleticism that Jeannie Armstrong possesses, because that bitch is fucking strong, and she is talented, and she is beautiful, and it looks like there is a booty, treasure, and prizes, cannons and chrome Gasparilla pirate contest. And so I'm gonna be promoting this, and it is on Friday, January 26th. It's at the Brass Mug, which is in Tampa, so off Skipper Road. So I just want to get that out of the way. Ty J sent me a message, and I just want to make sure that we we promote this shit, because it's important to support people in our community, especially people that work hard. And let me tell you, Jeannie Armstrong is very, very passionate about what she does, and it's really just refreshing to see people who actually like what they do. I feel like I'm one of them. But I feel like Jeannie might even be more passionate about pole dancing than I am about doing radio, which is impressive, because I really fucking like doing this quite a lot. So we gotta support her. We gotta make sure that we go out and help her out with this Gasparilla thing on January 26th. I found out recently that I do jujitsu with a stripper, which I kind of mentioned that a few days ago, but it really shook me, but also it was just so nice to finally be validated. You know, when you meet someone and you're just like, something is up with you. I just feel like something is up with you, and then you start to fill in the gaps of who that person is, and it is exactly what you predicted. Those moments are just absolutely so satisfying. And it was really interesting because we were partnering for, it must have been on Wednesday. We were partnering for this jiu-jitsu class. And I saw her like point her toe to do something. And I grew up as a dancer, which might surprise a lot of people that I had any sort of skill, femininity. But I danced for probably about 16, 17 years. My mom owned a dance studio for 25. So that is just what me and my sister did because it was a free activity for us. And, well, kind of not really. We got free lessons, but we still did the competitions, and we had to buy costumes for the recital, or my parents did. And it was a great time. So I always had a horrible point. That's very important in dance, is to have a good, like, point, an arch to your foot. That's imperative to have. And I did not have it. I was kind of a little bit of a flat footer, a duck foot, didn't really have a great arch at all. I remember all of my teachers always yelling at me to point my foot. It was just wildly uncomfortable for me to do that. I much prefer being like sickle-footed and turned in and flexed. That was kind of like my MO. But anyways, I was rolling with this girl, and she did something. She pointed her toe, and I was immediately taken aback. I go, that is a beautiful arch. You have a beautiful point to your foot. I go, did you do dance? That's what I asked her. And by dance, I didn't mean being a fucking stripper. But she goes, no, I didn't do dance, but I was a stripper. And I went, huh? And she goes, yeah, I was a stripper. And then we were just supposed to like roll. And I was like, I felt like I needed to go back to my closet, get my white lab coat out, put my goggles on, the clipboard, and start asking some motherfucking questions, because that is not a typical career path for most people. It's a little bit of an oddball. It's a curveball. And so, but it just fit perfectly with I was like, when the first day I fucking met that chick, I'm like, that girl's got daddy issues. 1000% daddy issues. You can usually tell because they feel, especially like for women, when they start bragging about their sexual conquests, it doesn't make any sense in my brain when I'm like, but you're a woman. Guys will fuck anything. I mean, I don't mean any guy will fuck any girl, but like guys will, I mean, they're less selective oftentimes, not in terms of who they invest in, but who they'll fuck at the end of the night, whatever. So they fuck a little heifer. They fuck a chick that's kind of ugly or missing a tooth. It doesn't matter. A guy will fuck you if you're even just average looking, below average looking. If you're just like a warm hole and and you got a heartbeat, so some guy will bed you for sure. So I found it odd that when I first met her, and she's not unattractive at all. She's a solid like a 6, like a good 6. I'd say I wouldn't give her anything higher than that, but she's like a good 6, which is great. That's above average because 5 is average. So she was like bragging about her sexual conquest, and I was just so confused. I was like, guys will like fuck anything, right? Now, if a guy is bragging about his sexual conquest, that's a little different because girls really are they're the gatekeepers of sex, and guys are usually the gatekeepers of commitment. So, if she was bragging like I had 50 guys propose to me, I'd be like, that's impressive. But if you have like guys fuck you, I'm like, why is she telling me this? And this was on like the first day I met her. And we bonded, not over that, but we bonded. See, I bond with people over different shit. I bonded with her initially because my knee was fucked up and I was wearing a knee brace at the time. And her knee was fucked up and she was wearing a knee brace at the time. And it was the first time I saw her and I'm like, we're fucking twinsies. And I was like, what's yours? She's like, ACL. I'm like, I'm MCL. That's crazy. Let's be buds. That's how I bond with people. And then she took that upon herself to be like, yeah, I had to leave my last gym because I started fucking all the guys and da-da-da, and it turned into this dramatic. And I was like, whoa. I'm like, my name's Anna. What's your name? Like, let's fuck it. When people just start divulging, I was like, bitch, I didn't even ask you those questions yet. I usually think that's a red flag when people divulge too much too quickly. Especially after, we really hadn't built much rapport outside of the whole my knee's fucked up, your knee's fucked up kind of thing. And then all of a sudden she just started telling me all this stuff about all the sexual stuff, which, listen, I'm more than happy to listen to. Trust me. When you're just like, not that I would ever blackmail anyone, but you don't know me. You don't know what I'm capable of. You don't know if I'm a yenta. I am. You don't know if I tell secrets. Sometimes I do. You don't know anything about me, and you're just trusting me with all this kind of vulnerable intel. Like, what's wrong with you? It's like almost like you want me to tell people, and then I do. So it just seemed a little bit odd, and that was day one. And I just remember thinking, and I have a pretty good intuition. I go, I don't trust this chick. Like, she's nice, and I'll be nice to her, and we're civil, and it's cool. But I just remember being like, I don't trust you. I don't trust you one bit. So yeah, she told me she was a stripper, and I tried to get in as many questions as I could, without taking away from the class, because it was hard for me to focus on my Americanas and my Kimura grips and all that shit when I just want to know about your childhood real bad, like real fucking bad. Just because, especially when someone has lived a life that is so vastly different from my own, I'm extremely intrigued. And I realize I do this more and more as I've gotten older. I can't really let things go. And I often have people tell me, and even Seth told me this, where people just start talking. And because so many people are horrible listeners, that when they have someone like listening intently to what they are saying, they just keep talking. They just keep telling me more and more. And I've had this situation happen with me so many times where someone will go on and on for maybe 5, 10, 15, maybe even 20 minutes. And then they'll pause and they'll go, I can't believe I just told you all that. Almost like, how did you get that out of me? And I'm like, dude, I barely said a word, but we let it flow. I've had Jay say that to me, Seth say that to me. I've had lots of people say that to me, where I'm just in a listening ear, and they divulge all that sort of stuff. And I just want to be like, you guys can do that too, because people are fascinating. I feel like I love entertaining myself with other people's lives, because humans are wildly complex creatures, the emotions that we have. And then, at the backdrop of modernity and social media and these complex social relationships and, the ability to deceive and to lie, and some people are better at it than others. And all that sort of stuff. And then you have reputation and jealousy and anger and happiness and sadness. It's just awesome. But also wildly predictable. Like you don't realize like how predictable. Everyone thinks they're so special, and to some degree, I guess they kind of are. But also you're not. You're so predictable. Like if you're telling me about your life now, I could probably, and the issues you're incurring, especially in your romantic relationships, more likely than not, me or any given healthcare or psychologist, I guess, can pretty much predict the problems that you incurred as a child and as an adolescent with your family. Like what went wrong, maybe what went right, what you didn't have enough of. All that sort of shit illuminates and manifests in your adult life, and it's pretty easy to predict with a lot of accuracy the things that you went through as a child and as an adolescent. So I just find that people are just so fascinating, and what their life choices tell you about who they are and what they value. It's just awesome. And so I turn everybody into a science project, which probably isn't good. But if you allow me to ask questions, listen, and also, I know you guys know this, but just to reiterate, people love talking about themselves. So let them talk. Let them talk. Then you get to learn a lot about them. Is this a person I can trust? Is this a person I can have some fun times with? Is this a person that will be there for me in the future? You learn all these things about people, and it's you're able to filter your social network, or you go, okay, well, this is a person that I would like to drink with, versus this is a person I would like to invest in as a friend, versus is this a person I would like to get advice from, or whatever. People tell you who they are, and you barely have to say anything. You just have to listen. You just have to listen. Hello, who's this?
Ms. Hummel, your aforementioned comment in regards to men having sex with anything was grossly chauvinistic and the double standard to be absolutely out of control. And I think you ought to take a greater perspective in the nuance of
your phone's
male
breaking up,
psychology.
buddy. It's hard because I can tell you're trying to insult me or something or criticize what I just said, but you're breaking up, so it's hard to get that message through. Hello.
Well, that's an insult to my mobile carrier, T-Mobile.
I'm so sorry, T-Mobile.
I appreciate that, but as far as what I was saying, to reiterate, the fact that you would make a generalization in regards to men having sex with anything is appalling, and I find the double standard to be equally as appalling as the comment in and of itself.
What double
standard? Do you
standard?
really feel that way?
What, that men will fuck anything?
Yeah.
I'm not saying every guy would fuck any girl. Surely that's not the case. But I'm saying that men generally, when it comes to sex, are much less selective, especially if it's a short-term thing like one night. You know, a girl would fuck on one night, a hot guy, maybe a guy who's an athlete. She's not expecting him to invest in her, but she's like, fuck, hey, I have an opportunity to fuck Chris Brown. I'm going to take it. Like that sort of thing. Where it would take a lot to, not a lot, but sometimes, especially for a higher quality, let's say attractive woman to have a one-night stand with someone, that guy's probably got to have something going for him, you know? Whereas with women, I feel like a lot of guys are like, listen, I'm in college. I don't really give a fuck. I just want to get laid. So, you know, she's a little overweight and she's not maybe the hottest chick, but what the fuck ever. It's 2 a.m. at this bar. She seems like she's willing to have sex with me tonight. I'm going to capitalize on her generosity.
I think that
is that a fair assessment?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
As a masculine demisexual, I find that to be a gross generalization.
What the fuck does that mean?
Demisexual?
I don't know what that means. Halfway sexual? Demisexual?
No, demisexual refers to somebody who is looking for more of an emotional connection in order to trigger physical attraction.
Interesting.
You know,
person feels sexually attracted to someone only after they've developed a close emotional bond with them.
Right. And that's why I'm sexually attracted to Lummy, for instance, because I've had an incredible bond with him.
Right.
You know, he's just such an amazing, charismatic, loving, cuddly individual that...
Have you ever met him in person?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Although I'm not a homosexual, because of the mental connection that he and I have, you know, it's just overwhelming.
That's great. It's awesome.
Yeah. But as far as, you know, men in general being less selective in their conquest.
Short term. I want to make that clear because they're very selective in terms of who they invest in long term. But in terms of short term, less so.
Well, there's plenty of women that I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole, though, short term.
I get it. I'm not saying every man would fuck every woman. I'm not. Again, I clarified that at the beginning when you first called in, sir. But I'm painting with a broad brush. But I don't think that my general assessment is incorrect.
There's no need to call yourself a broad. That's unnecessary. So what are you doing later?
Okay. Thank you for calling in. Appreciate you. Hello, who's this?
Yeah, hey, it's Charlie.
Oh, you're that guy. I feel like I should hang up on you, but I'm also intrigued. But well, go ahead, Charlie. We'll see how long. Oh, let's see. Just talk a little bit, and if I feel like I'm getting into muddy waters, I'll hang up abruptly. But go ahead. What's wrong?
Well, I mean, okay, that's not a way to start a conversation off. You're part of Bubba's podcast that I spoke with earlier, correct?
I think it's like a terrestrial show. We're a legitimate show, sir, but we also have a podcast. Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
No, but you're part of his army, right? You were one of the individuals in this group, correct?
Yes. Yeah, you're talking to me. I got a show. Yeah, obviously.
Okay, you know that. I'm older than you.
I believe it.
So I'm older than.
What are you, like 54?
I'm older than you. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just guessing your age, sir. You sound about in the 53, 54 age range. Is that a correct guess?
Since the age of 17, most people think I'm in my late 30s or 40s.
Interesting. And how old are you now?
You want to know why?
No, I want to know how old you are now.
Well, I'm not, that's okay. I'm actually I'm older than you. It doesn't matter. I'm going to ask you a question.
Sure.
You just had a conversation with this gentleman. He was an absolute and complete tool.
Okay.
He absolutely made no sense. Okay. Are you in a relationship?
Yes, sir.
Are you married? No, yes, sir. We're not in the Army. You don't have to salute me.
I just like being polite.
Oh, that's fine. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Can I call you lady, or would you?
I don't give a fuck what you call
married?
me, sir. No, I'm not married.
How long have you been in a relationship?
Almost 2 years.
How old are you?
I'm 36.
How old is your lover?
42.
Man or woman?
It's a man. Does that surprise you? Where are we going with this, sir? Where are we going? Why do you,
I like how you say.
Where are we going with this? I'm in a heterosexual relationship with a man in his 40s. Does that surprise you?
No, not at all. I think you seem like a very nice person. I was watching our interaction earlier. You had a very pleasant smile.
Thank you.
Nice personality.
Thank you. Do you know my name? I know you know my name.
Random.
What's my name?
Go ahead.
What's my name?
Well, I don't know your name, but I'm looking at your YouTube channel. Your name is Anna Hummel or Hummel.
Close enough. Yeah.
How do you say your last name?
It's Anna, like on a piece of paper, if that helps you. You sound like you're of the white variety. Sometimes that's hard for white people to do the long vowel sound. Anna.
Well, that's so cute that you're calling me a honky. What's your nationality?
I'm American, sir.
But are you white? Are you Jewish? Are you Italian? Are you German?
I'm Jewish. I'm Jewish. So I think that makes me white. Uh-oh. This guy, I feel like we got a free Palestine guy on our hands. But go ahead.
No, you look like you got slapped in the face with a yarmulke. But anyway, let me ask you a question.
Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Is your partner Jewish?
He's not Jewish, sir, no.
What is his? Where is he from?
He's fucking nothing. He's from fucking Clearwater, dude. He's a white guy. Is that okay? Where are we going with this, by the way?
Well, let's see where it goes. I mean, just go with the flow.
Okay, it's becoming boring now. Like you're not even getting to anything spicy.
Look at you. You're an online popular radio host. You've got someone that can call in and put sentences together. Someone that can articulate something. Someone can probably give you some great content. And now you're trying to flip the conversation. You're going to say, I'm not going to let this person control the narrative. I'm going to flip it and say that he's an idiot. Just go with the flow.
Don't tell me what to do.
So let me ask you this. Are you a successful radio podcaster? Is this what you do for a living, or do you have another job?
This is my only gig, sir.
I like how you say sir, like we're in some sort of formal setting.
God, you're fucking annoying. Gee, not even entertaining. I mean, there were so many like cool things we could have talked about, even if we were being somewhat adversarial. But you're just insulting me, sir, and we're just going in circles. And I owe it to the listeners to kind of keep this show going. So 813-90 Bubba, if you would like to call in and join the conversation, but not be that guy. I'd like to just go back to talking about people who are strippers. And I did have a very unusual feeling yesterday while I was rolling with not her, but someone else. It was a feeling that perhaps other people feel all the time, but I was like surprised by it. It kind of snuck up on me. I felt like I had, for a brief moment, and it's just so fucking brief, I had some self-confidence. There was a moment where I was rolling and I was actually doing moves correctly that I was taught, and I was executing them with precision, and they were working. They were actually fucking working, and I was fucking choking bitches out and arm barring like a motherfucker, swinging my leg over heads, catching in razors. And there was just a moment, and I was like so impressed with myself. It was like such a surprise. And mind you, that feeling faded quickly with the subsequent roll. And I'm like, oh yeah, I know nothing. I suck. Why am I here? But for a brief moment, I'm like, wow, I fucking know what the fuck I'm doing. This is great. this is awesome. And it's funny because like I will cherry pick those moments out and I will be like, we're going to put that one on repeat because we're doing something different in 2024, folks. We are doing something different. We don't have to be the way we've always been. We can improve ourselves, even me. When you look at me and you're like, wow, that is fucking human perfection. How could that get any better? Well, guess what? It can. It certainly can. And I've come to the realization, and this was something that I thought a lot about over the break. I love that week between Christmas and New Year's where most of the time no one's working. And if they are, it's usually, you have to do your retail or whatever. But if you have like a pretty normal job, you're probably going to have that week off. And it's just a time to just reflect. You reflect on a lot of things. You can't help but reflect on the year, where you were last year this time. You come to grips with your mortality. You're like, what the fuck? Another year's passed, man. I don't have that much time left. I gotta change shit up. You start thinking about all the things you accomplished or didn't accomplish over the last year. And you think about all the things you'd like to change, improve on for the next year. And I've realized that this year, or last year, 2023, I definitely took a heavy interest in longevity and everything that comes along with it, whether it's the fasting or the cold plunging. I found out my VO2 max. I am in the superior category, not bragging, but it's true. I obviously do the exercise, sleep I know is important, but something that I realized that I completely neglected that is probably one of the most important things that you could do for your health that I completely, again, neglected, put zero effort into was stress management. I realized that was something that I had put zero attention towards. I had no interest in. I'm like, I can just fucking exercise it off. I don't need to do anything up in the mentals. I don't need to work on that. I'm just going to fucking plunge it out, or I'm going to run it out, or I'm going to weightlift it out, or jujitsu it out. It's one of the things I think that scares me the most is, and I'm sure for many of us, are our own thoughts. And so, and we like to think that we are the victim of things that happen to us. And I was giving a lot of advice that I wasn't taking myself about taking back control. And instead of getting wildly upset over something or messed up or stressed out or whatever the case may be, I was like, I'm actively choosing to feel this way. And when you tell yourself that you are you're not just you, it makes no sense to say you are stressing me out or, this situation it's like you are allowing that to infiltrate and sometimes listen, like fucking, all right, I just got an example in my head of, I used to follow this girl on social media. I hadn't seen her in a while. She popped back up. Her brother was killed in October 7th attack in a kibbutz. So I was like, okay, that you're allowed to fucking stress out about, okay? Some things happen to you where you can't help but be affected by a situation. But for the majority of like day-to-day shit that we stress about, that we get upset about, of all that sort of stuff, we're allowing ourselves to feel that way. So when you kind of change that mindset of, this is happening to me versus this is happening for me, and I can choose my reaction to it. That was something that I really neglected over the last, all of my life. So this year, it's all about stress management because stress is a silent killer. Stress is good in small doses. It's very good to stress your body in exercise or fasting or cold plunging or even to save your life. You're crossing the street and you see a car that's not slowing down. It's good that your heart rate is accelerated and you jump the fuck out of the way. That is good stress to have. It keeps you out of danger. But what is problematic is when that switch doesn't shut off. And then you're just in this chronic state of perpetual stress all the time. Your body really wasn't meant to handle that. And everything kind of goes to shit. Your immune system, your sleep, your hormones get all out of whack. That fucks with your weight. Everything is affected by your hormones, by the hormonies. So you got to be careful of that sort of stuff. And it's important that you tell yourself that it's not something that's just happening to you. You're allowing yourself to feel a certain way. And although that seems like annoying, so, you know, maybe your boss is being a dick, or you are dealing with some relationship problems and you go, that person is making me feel this way. And, you know, maybe that is technically true, but why even address it that way? Go, this person, I'm allowing this person to make me feel a certain way. And I shouldn't allow just anybody to steal my peace like that. So I feel like that is my new mindset, hopefully not just for 2024, but 2024 and beyond, where it's like we really got to kind of take back control over our own psyche. So lately, I've been taking an interest. I know. I've been kind of dipping into Buddhism, folks. Guilty, not so much in the religious sense. I don't really care about the gods and the rituals and shit like that. But there are some lessons to be learned from the Buddha, is what I've been learning. You know, it's this ancient, I don't even know what you call him, wise man. He broke off from Hinduism and kind of just started his own jam and eventually reached nirvana. He accepted the suffering of the human condition. He didn't try to fight it. And it seems like he was just kind of like one with nature and the yin and the yang and the stuff like that. Again, I just started this journey of Buddhism recently. But I always, you hear about meditation and Eastern traditions and stuff like that. And I hear about that now with people that I listen to and respect in the Western and more, clinical Western world. And it seems like there's a lot of wisdom there. So I was like, all right, let me try to unpack some of this Buddhism shit. And the Buddhists don't seem to be causing no problems, I mean, they cause problems, but not because of their Buddhism, if that makes sense. Like China causes problems, let's be real, the pandemic and whatever. But like it's not in the name of Buddhism, if that makes sense. Seems like it's pretty antithetical to Buddhism, but again, I don't know too much about it. So I've taken a new interest in I guess, Eastern traditions and just trying to cherry pick, like, what kind of wisdom can I apply to my own life? I like this whole idea of, like, accepting the suffering, like, not trying to fight it, like, in the West. I feel like we're like, no, that's indicative of a problem. It's like, no, you're supposed to feel anxious. That's fine. You're supposed to be depressed sometimes. That's fine. You're supposed to be angry sometimes. That's fine. Like, you don't have to be a victim of your emotions or a slave to them, This whole idea of mindfulness I find very intriguing, where you can be anxious and just feel it. You have to suppress it or block it out with a drug. It could just come upon you. It's in your mind, you're thinking about it, and you're like, all right, well, it's just going to pass like a cloud. It comes in, it does its thing. You go, okay, this isn't me. This is just a thought I'm having about something. And it'll pass. So you just kind of like watch it come in and you watch it go away. And I like that sort of thing, where you don't have to take any of your thoughts or concerns or anxieties too seriously. You're just kind of like a third party witness to them versus like them being you, if that makes sense. I had a really good conversation with my uncle. I'm not too close with my extended family. Oh shit, Tease. And for everyone else who hates it. Fuck you. Tease, thank you so much. Appreciate it. She likes Two Live Jew. That seems to be a popular name. I quite like it because I love Two Live Crew. I like the. Do you guys remember Tip Drill? I don't know if it was a song or a movement or a dance, but I just remember like I don't know if it was the early 90s or something, like seeing Tip Drill. It was like the early stages of twerking. It was revolutionary. But anyways, yeah, this mindfulness I find to be useful. And it's funny, like I feel like I've been trying to study it and learn about it, but I like won't actually do it because I'm like, fuck, I just got to like sit there with myself and my thoughts. That sounds not good for me and my mentals. But usually the things that we're procrastinating or the things that we're avoiding are usually the things we need to do the most, is what I've learned. Is that if you're like putting something off, it's probably the thing you should probably prioritize because there's a reason you're putting it off. And, you got to unpack what that reason is. Is it because you're afraid? Is it because it's difficult? Usually that's it. It's challenging. A lot of people don't like challenges. hardship we try to avoid all the time. And I say fucking let that shit right in. Let the failure in. Let the hardship, let the challenges in, because that's where you fucking grow. That's where you become an interesting person. You know, if you've ever met somebody and, you know, like a 17-year-old who hasn't seen a fucking done nothing with their life and hasn't suffered one single day, that's not really an interesting person. And again, maybe that's not intrinsically valuable to anybody but me, but you talk to people that really haven't gone through anything, you're like, you got no wisdom. You got fucking nothing. I can't learn anything from you. You just seem kind of meh. But you talk to someone who's really gone through a struggle. You talk to a David Goggins. You talk to Yunomi Park, who escaped fucking tyrannical North Korea. You know, you talk to those people who've really quite struggled, and you go, wow, you got some interesting shit. You got a story. I like stories. So anyways, I am going to take this call. It may be someone I don't want to talk to, but we're gonna figure it out. Hello, who's this? Yo.
Hello.
Is this Charlie? Charles?
You might be the craziest human being that I've ever listened to. You are out of your absolute mind.
Now you know you can swear on this show. Go ahead.
Seriously, no, I'm not going to swear.
Yeah.
You are an absolute nutcase. I genuinely feel sorry
Thank
for
you.
your husband, your fiance, your boyfriend.
Thank
you
you.
are all over the place.
Thank you.
You make absolutely no sense. You
Thank
have
you.
not a molecule of femininity to you.
Thank you.
You are a bull dyke. You are completely. There's something wrong with your brain. I'm not sure if your mother, your father hurt you.
Thank you.
You truly are absolutely online deranged. You go on and on and on and on and on. You make absolutely no sense. You're a complete, absolute narcissist. You truly are. I'm fascinated by you. I'm completely fascinated by your nut attitude.
Thank you.
There's something wrong with your brain.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome. There's something wrong with you.
Thank you.
Seriously. What happened to you? Where's the femininity? Where's you like a female quality?
Thank you.
What happened?
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Anything else?
No.
Thank
I'm
you.
asking you, just relax.
Thank you.
You come across so hard.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are you there?
Nope. 813-90 Bubba. Appreciate you guys. We got Barb coming up next week. It's gonna be a good time. We got Tate's Pizza. Get to see King Kong. Haven't seen him since last year. Brandon the Quad will be reflowered. Maybe deflowered by a guy this time, which would be super cool. Switch it up. God bless Caitlin Hatley. Seriously, she's an angel from heaven. We got Bubba 199 next Friday. And then, of course, BARP. The biggest event of the year, our Super Bowl. For all of you fine listeners. Thank you, Tease. John Costica. Brian from Philly. Appreciate you guys for contributing to the program, to my program, to our program. It's for us. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks, Charlie, for what I don't know. For all the time you have on your hands, I guess. Have a great weekend, everybody. Don't drink too much because you got to prepare yourself for next weekend. I want you guys fresh. I want you guys fucking fresh and ready to go. And who knows, maybe this year I'll end up at the Dollhouse. I'd like to check it out. I've been propositioned many times and I've always declined, but I think this is my year. This is my motherfucking year, 2024. I love you guys. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you on Monday. God bless.